This is our observations as Shurokrats um, and as a leader of the international Shurokratic movement, legally working in Canada as an organization which promote for Shurokracy as alternative to democracy. Today we are in December, end of 2015, and the world is not better than it was before. It's actually going worse, worse, and worse. And we might leave our comments regarding what's wrong with Democrats and why the world economy is collapsing, including oil prices that reach today $38 a barrel. And there's a lot of layoff, unemployment in Canada, in the United States, worldwide, not just in the Middle East or just in the Islamic world. It's everywhere. The problem is that Democrats always play on the factor of fear of people. That's the way their leaders get elected, by playing with such a factor of fear cleverly, promoting for the wrong people to lead politics. And we have a comment regarding that. If you remember the story of George W. Bush, who speaks about his hypothetical theory of terrorism, and invaded Afghanistan, Iraq, causing disturbance in all Middle East, followed by Obama, who followed the same policy, where the military invasion caused a hell of damage. I mean, damage to the foundation of services, including hospitals, school, buildings. It become like a jungle in the Islamic world, and it creates a lot of trouble. Tony Blair and George Bush, they have bombed with their missiles using depleted uranium to kill Muslims. with NATO and the United States, Britain, and France, and Germany, they said, we come to liberate people from Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein is just a crook. It was the story of revelation that ends with occupation, invasion, occupation, and sucking the wealth of Iraq in terms of oil and in Central Asia. Also, Democrats thereafter were rapes, extreme violence, bloody violence occur, where the troops of the American get at least over $200,000 wounded with disability from the American people. So the war wasn't good on both sides. It wasn't good in terms of that they thought that they will be okay with what they did, and trillions of dollars of resources has been wasted, transferring massively their military from one point in Iraq to another point in Libya, while turning the coup d'etat to support a bloody criminal who's al-Sisi, Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, whose mother is a Zionist Jewish from Morocco. As we know, we have allegations. It's mentioned that al-Sisi, grown in Jewish area in Al-Jamaliyah, and he was in secrecy trained by CIA to lead a coup to destroy Egypt fully. The deal of giving the natural gas to Cyprus by readjusting the international board lines on the Mediterranean to allow them to suck and steal over $300 billion of natural gas. Also, al-Sisi have given the rights of Egypt to Ethiopia to promote for their demands and make Egypt have less water and under threat of being in poverty and with not enough water to feed a population of 100 million or 90 million at least. al-Sisi also has transferred in secrecy most of the gold in the area of Ras Alam, where there's a big mining area, one of the best world gold resources that produce up to $10 billion pure gold alloys, and exported in secrecy to the United States, pretending that there is no gold in that area and the mine is not productive. Also, Canada has been involved in exploitation of the oil in West Sahara of Egypt. In Libya, the Americans did the same deals with the puppet government they implemented, and all that as example. In Tunisia, oppression happened to its own people. So the matter was not really acceptable. We have to speak as Surecrats to state the fact to the people worldwide that the cycle of violence, bloody violence of war and organized terrorist crime is considered from our view on both sides. NATO and United States, they killed over 3 million Muslims in Central Asia, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iraq, Syria, in connection, Libya, bloody, in South Sudan, and in Africa. So NATO has committed by their organized military violence against the international law. They entered, they invaded, they used all kinds of weapons, including drones, depleted uranium, all kinds of sophisticated technology, missiles of destruction, and even close to mass destruction. So counteracting action is happening from the Islamic world back and the Arabic world, Arabic Islamic world back against NATO and the States and France and Britain. We as Surecrats are silently watching an amazing jungle was Islamic fundamentalists are challenging the Democrats and kill few of them versus millions of Muslims killed by those Democrats in our world, our Islamic world. 3 million Muslims are killed, slaughtered, and massive millions of Muslims, no homes, no water, no electricity, no food, and they even invade Egypt as an example. They invade the population was polluted, unacceptable food to cause epidemic diseases like renal failure, cancers, hepatitis, and other diseases. So here is we are seeing, according to our Surecratic theory, in analyzing the present situation up to 2015, that the cycle of invasion of violence are touching everybody, destroying the world economy. Unemployment is now massive, lays off in Canada, where the price of oil barrel is $38. Many people lose their jobs, many people under poverty line in the West, and also in the Middle East. And one of the things that the Muslims are not aware of, and the world is not aware of, is that after they spread out these epidemic diseases using depleted uranium to infest and destroy the fertility rate of the Muslims as people, civilian people, they make themselves like they are as Democrats, are the best to offer humanitarian service. So the scene behind that story is well known. United States, France, England have a problem with the fertility rate to sustain their population. So they didn't just steal the wealth of the countries being invaded as imperialists, but also they are stealing our children, our own people. I mean, that wave of immigration seeking for anything basic life, and Canada has taken 30,000 Syrian as an example, Germany as well, and other countries close their doors, and the Muslims are running away from Syria to go worldwide to anywhere where they can feel safe, because Syria is becoming extremely bloody, and the Western NATO has started all that. So reaction of Al-Qaeda as an organization which declares jihad, or as they define them from their view as terrorists, a counteraction happened by American army military violence and invasion and occupation and destruction to all forms of life that is civil and acceptable. Now, Democrats, when they did that with George W. Bush followed by Obama, they thought they are out of the cycle because as long as there is Muslim population who are 1.5 billion at least in the world, there will be always a counteracting reaction to the actions of the American. So it's a story, as we see, from action, interaction, and reaction according to our analysis using the Surecratic theory, which help us to diagnose and analyze and see what's going wrong in the world under the hand of the Democrats as a majority. We as Surecrats, we promote for justice, we promote for peace, with justice. We promote for liberty and mutual love in God and humanity, because our ethical values belong to monotheism, where good believers believe in peace, in human development, social, economic, environmental. Democrats pollute the world, causing global warming problems. Democrats, with their wars as well, Democrats cause other social problems with their mentality of thinking that creates social problems and violence. The United States is living in a hell of violence every day, where many people killed and where many people raped and where many people use guns. It's becoming not an acceptable form of life that we can say it's the world should follow Democrats. No, we will not follow Democrats. The Democrats from now on has to listen to us as Surecrats, challenging them. Democrats has to listen to what we want as people, as Surecrats, leading the Moralo-Psycho intellectual revolution in that century, 21st century. The Moralo-Psycho intellectual revolution is the revolution of being a better human being without blood, with peace. It's a yellow revolution that is smart. It deals with the consciousness of human being, whether intellectual and psychomoral consciousness, to induce the changes by informing people with better knowledge, by informing people with our views, what we want the world to be. Democrats presently, by 2015, must listen to us as Surecrats. Must listen to us, because it is unacceptable that they will continue thinking that with their war and bombing and invasion again and again, destroying the whole world's stability, especially economy, family life, social life, education, healthcare, are all deteriorated in the hands of the wars of Democrats. And there would be expected. We are standing watching both sides. We are neither with either side, because both ISIS and the jihadists attacking Democrats even in their own country, from one side, considered by the eyes of Democrats as terrorists, is also seeing the counteracting war that is happening, and Democrats think through this war they're gonna impose their will and make the whole world democratic. It's stupid. It's stupid the way they think, because you cannot make the whole world one mentality. You can't. There's differences between people, cultures, and even religion. And we have to promote for dialogue and sitting on the table for negotiation. There is no political, what do you call it? There is no political acceptable form Democrats are doing nowadays to negotiate, to settle matters that we say can solve a problem with the Islamic jihadists, the fundamentalists. The terrorism actually is happening in two forms. One form is organized military violence that the Democrats are doing. They are invading, threatening, killing, bloody killing millions of people. And on the other side, the counteracting what they define from the eyes of democracy as terrorism, which is a counteracting defensive retaliation against the war invasion to the Muslim country, and treating them worse than animal. Rapes in Iraq are registered. Malformation and cancers spread out by depleted uranium are all documented. And Johnny Blair and George W. Bush should be presented, from our view, to an international court for committing crimes against humanity. It's against basic human rights, what they did. They use forbidden weapons that has direct and indirect effect on the population, destroying gradually the solution of the population using radioactive material. That's part of their crimes, and they have never been questioned. Obama now think we're going to bomb Syria again, want all the allies of the world to gather to destroy ISIS. That's a stupid idea. The delusion of democracy itself, saying that we're going to destroy ISIS. Whether ISIS or not ISIS, whether whatever name they call, under the what do you call it, the terminology that they invented about terrorism, without seeing that they are themselves committing terrorism against population and against people. United States and NATO have committed a lot of crimes in war without being punished by United Nations, without presenting their criminals of war to international justice courts to put them under investigation and questions. No one did that. And I feel angry that the people are swallowing that without reminding them that they must claim for justice against these criminals. Organized military violence under any circumstances is in itself a form of terrorism to peaceful people, destroying their lives and their stability and their children. All the civilians are exposed, not just the military. You see, they pretend that they don't, they are careful not to hurt the population, the civilians, but they are liars. Democrats are hypocrite liars because they kill from the civilians millions of people without being questioned. Now, my view is here, and I will take it very serious. As a leader of the international Surecratic movement and founder of Surecracy as alternative to democracy, I want to tell you, they must listen to us. The idea of going to war and counter-war under the terms of terrorism has destroyed already, in this bloody war that is 2 decades now, destroyed the world economy, the world stability, destroyed our development in education and healthcare, destroyed our ability to find jobs. It's affecting everybody, and you cannot keep shut up about it. It's time now in 2015 to put in the face of Democrats what they did wrong and what they are doing wrong, and we are not supporting them. In Canada, Pierre Trudeau has decided to withdraw from the war in Syria. And I believe that's a good decision, because he will drag Canada through that into the action, interaction, and reaction. So he knows that the continuity of that bloody war, disturbing peace and stabilizing the whole world, social life and economy, and education and services in healthcare, he knows that will drag Canada into more problems like the States. There will be counteracting, call it terrorism from their point of view, but the terrorism we see as Surecrats is on both sides. We are just watching and laughing about the shit of it that no one ever tell Mr. Obama or the leaders of the NATO, hey guys, stop the war and sit with ISIS on the negotiation table and try to find solutions. Try through political diplomacy, find solution. Because the idea of going to war, now Trump is, that fanatic guy, is raising his hand in the TV in Canada. We see him in the TV raising his hand like Heil Hitler, saying that Muslims should not enter the States, should not live in the States, and the Muslim community should be supervised against our privacy and against basic human rights. That fanatic maniac who is using the factor of fear of people, exploiting the situation. Two individuals have committed an act of violence to counteract violence of the United States against Muslim people in Syria. They retaliate against it. We are not standing with either side. We are using our wisdom as Surecrats to state to the Democrats, it's time now to use diplomacy. It's time now to stop your arrogant attitude and sit with the other country leaders who represent their own people and try to find through diplomacy an action of resolution, because the continuity of war is extremely unacceptable. And that's, from my point of view, as a leader of Surecracy as alternative to democracy, in my claim against Surecratic peace against democratic violence. Democrats, whether communist Democrats, whether communist socialist Democrats, whether capitalist Democrats, including liberals, conservative Democrats, new Democrats, all of these guys have been involved in what I can see committing crimes against humanity. And we are claiming justice against them. Justice must be prevailed. Liberty of people must be respected. Will of the world peaceful people must be enforced. And we have to stop that wave of hate on both sides. And we have to search for a new diplomatic method to solve this problem that becomes so cumulative to drag all of us in the troubles up to 2015. May God bless you, and I hope the world will live in peace with no further war on both sides. We had enough of it. My name is Sherif Abdel-Kerim, and I'm the founder of Surecracy as an alternative to democracy with its Surecratic theory, the theory of acting, interacting, and reacting. It's a very developed theory that challenged Democrats worldwide with a lot of criticism. And I'm also the founder of the International Surecratic Movement in Canada, hoping that peace, justice and peace will prevail by the beginning of 2016. Be aware, open your eyes, you will see the world reality of Democrats.